Thank you. Today, my friends, is about the hard truth. And the hard truth is that this nation has serious problems that we have to deal with. The truth is simple. A minimum wage of $8.75 is not a minimum wage in the state of New York at all. FDR, listen to this, FDR said when he started the minimum wage that the minimum wage is, I quote, a living wage. I mean more than a fair subsistence. I mean the wages of a decent living. Right. That's the definition of minimum wage. It is simple math. You cannot support a family on $18,000 a year in New York State, not to mention having a decent living. For a modest means, the typical cost of housing is $11,000. The typical cost of food is $9,000. The typical cost of clothing is $6,000. $18,000 just doesn't cover it. A study was released just this week that showed there is not a single neighborhood in New York City that is affordable to someone earning the minimum wage. So several months ago, we impaneled a wage board to study the minimum wage of fast food workers. Kevin Ryan, Mike Fishman, Mayor Byron Brown served on that wage board, and they recommended a wage of $15 an hour. That recommendation went to New York State Commissioner of Labor Mario Mussolino, and I am pleased to announce today that the State of New York's Labor Department has accepted the wage board recommendation in full, and 150,000 fast food workers will see their wages rise to $15 an hour. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big New York welcome to Vice President Joseph Biden.
I think New York is special, but I want to tell you, you got the best governor in the whole darn country. You know the old expression, if I'm in a foxhole, I know who I want next to me. I want next to me somebody who knows, is elected, knows how to pronounce the word union. All right. You're leading the way for the country, and Governor, you're doing right by your dad by naming this effort in honor of him. He was a good man. He always had an absolute belief that ordinary people can do extraordinary things just given a half a chance. Just given a half a chance. I want to be serious with you for a second. There used to be a basic bargain in America. It's a bargain that Republicans used to sign on to too, Democrats and Republicans. And that was, if you contributed to the profitability of the enterprise you were involved with, you got to share in the benefits. You got to share in the profits. If you worked hard, you played by the rules, you get to share in the nation's prosperity. But over the last 20 to 30 years, that bargain has been broken through fiscal policy, regulatory policy, tax policy, and corporate policies that valued companies and shareholders over their workers and their families. Consider that at the end of World War II, all the way up to the 70s, productivity, the stuff you make happen, productivity in America moved up, and every time it did, wages moved up. In large part because close to 30% of the workforce then was union. But here's what happened. But since the 70s, an interesting thing has happened. Productivity has gone up 74%. In other words, you're working 74% more efficiently than any time before. But guess what happened? wages for median income folks grew only 9%. That hadn't happened before. Since '79, wages for the top 1% of America have grown 140%. For the bottom 90%, they've grown 15%. You know, back when Reagan was president, CEOs made 20 to 25% more than their average worker. Today, it's over 300 times what the average worker. What happened here? No, I mean it sincerely. Think about it. What happened? While our economy is improving, more and more folks are finding jobs, middle-class wages are still stagnant, and the working poor are living in poverty.
That's right.
So, Governor, I applaud you for stepping up with a smart, reasonable plan. Every single solitary American, particularly those who are willing to go out there and work 40 hours a week, is entitled to be treated with dignity, and that starts with a decent living wage. So go get them. Don't give up. Get this done. Governor, the whole country owes you for this initiative.
Local 237 supports $15 an hour for everyone who works. Because remember, our members' family, children, also have jobs that are low-wage jobs. So that helps improve the economy for our members also. And it also helps the tax base, which helps us negotiate contracts because we get paid through taxes. And it helps the economy because when we go to the bargaining table, in order for us to ask for a wage increase, there has to be wages and money there to ask for. So this helps everybody. It's a step up for everyone. When the state is doing well, the city is doing well, we could do well at the bargaining table.
I think it's a beautiful thing. The $15 wage will help America strive, help New York strive better. It'll help people live a lot better. It'll bring more to the households.
I think that's great because now everyone's able to feed their family and without it worrying about tomorrow if they're gonna have food to feed their kids. Are they able to you can just live? How would they live without, just the increase of $15,
People don't have to choose between paying their rent and feeding their families. That's wonderful, wonderful.
I feel privileged to be part of the movement Mr. Cuomo is doing for the middle class to bridge the gap for the rich to the middle class.
I think it's good that the working people are finally getting recognized, and they, the wages just is going up so they can now take care of their families.
I think it's gratifying to stand here today and hear what the Vice President and Governor stated about folks being able to earn $15 an hour. I think there's very few things more powerful than hope, and a lot of folks have been hoping for better wages, and this is proof that if you give folks those wages and the opportunity to do something more, then great things can happen. So I think a lot of folks will sign on to this, and it'll carry a lot of people forward in a manner in which they've deserved for a long time.
Who's gonna